Imagine a rock in the sea, cold, jagged, alone. A lighthouse cuts the dark. 3 men guard the night. December 1900. Waves crash, wind howls, then silence falls. This isn't about sailors or wrecks. This is a light going dark and taking them with it. This is the Flannan Isles vanishing. December 7th, 1900. The Flannan Isles. 7 rocks stab the North Atlantic, off Scotland's wild coast. One stands out. Eilean Moor. A cliff rises steep and brutal. Grass grips tight, torn by wind. Gulls shriek above, slicing the gray. Below, waves pound the stone, fierce and endless. A lighthouse crowns the top. Built 1899, 90 feet of white brick gleam fresh against the sky, a beacon in the void. 3 men arrive. The principal keeper, Fort 3, carries years in his stride. His beard shines silver, streaked by salt. His coat sags, patched from storms past. 17 winters on the lights weigh his hands, rough and sure. The second keeper, 38, moves quiet and lean. His pipe glows faint, smoke twisting into the damp. Words stay trapped in his throat, unneeded. The third, 29, steps light and eager. His energy hums, raw and bold, fighting the wind's pull. They settle in, boots scraping stone, coats brushing walls. Their task burns simple. Keep the light alive. Oil lamps flicker inside the tower, casting a warm haze. Gears hum low, a steady grind against the night. The lens spins, slow and precise, throwing a beam across the fog. Ships cling to it, miles out, dodging death in the Hebrides' grip. Night after night, they climb 97 steps, narrow and worn. Oil sloshes in cans, heavy and cold. Rain slams the glass, streaking wild. Waves rattle the walls, deep and alive. The logbook tracks it all. Ink bites paper. Storm, north wind, heavy swell. Each word locks them in place. December 8th. The Hesperus steams in, squat and gray. Supplies pile on deck. Coal sacks, flour, tea crates, damp and heavy. 90 steps drop below, wet and cruel, carved into the cliff's face. Hands grip ropes, blistered and red, hauling weight against the wind. The steamer fades into mist, a shadow lost to the sea. The island closes tight, sealing them alone. Inside, the stove snaps, faint and stubborn. Oatmeal steams, thick and dull. Salt beef chews tough, clinging to teeth. Tea brews black, bitter in the mug. The light holds strong, a lifeline in the chaos. December 12th. The log marks gale and high seas, ink steady on the page. December 14th. Wind rises, rain bites. Paper curls in the damp. They eat slow, watch close, wait long. The sea shifts, restless and dark, a beast stirring beneath. Something brews, faint and unseen, coiling in the deep. The rock stands firm, cold and silent, guarding its secrets. December 15th, 1900. Dawn breaks weak and pale. The Flannan light stabs through haze, sharp against the gray. Boots scrape stone, heavy and cold. The principal keeper rises slow, breath fogging in the chill. The second keeper shifts, pipe clenched, ash dusting his coat. The third stretches quick, restless in the gloom. The tower hums low, a pulse etched in brick. The climb starts early. 97 steps wind up, steep and slick. Oil sloshes cold, feeding the lamp's steady glow. The lens shines clear, polished to a gleam, cutting the fog with purpose. Rain lashes hard, streaking glass in wild rivers. Wind claws the walls, a whine growing sharp. Waves roar below, fierce and close, shaking the stone with each hit. The sea turns black, rolling deep, alive with something unnamed. The logbook sits open. December 14th reads storm, easing, ink dry and calm. The wind disagrees, howling wild, ripping at the tower's edge. The sea churns darker, a shadow stretching wide, hungry and bold. Noon fades fast, gray swallowing light. The stove sputters low, smoke twisting thin. Bread breaks hard, crust stale and tough. Cheese crumbles sharp, cold on the tongue. The kettle steams faint, a shrill note lost in the air. Night falls quick, black and thick. The lamp spins steady, light sweeping the void. Ships blink far, faint and fragile, leaning on the beam. Wind screams high, tearing cracks in the stone. A rumble cuts through, low and strange, not wind, not waves. The air thickens, pressing tight, heavy with wrongness. The log catches it, December 15th. Strange noise, sea unsettled, ink trembling on the page. The sound fades, then strikes again, closer and deep, a pulse in the dark. Midnight creeps slow, the lamp burns bright, a lone star in the chaos. Blankets scratch rough, beds creak under weight, breath hangs shallow. Wind digs harder, shrieking through gaps, wild and alive. Shadows flicker faint on the walls, sharp and fleeting, dancing in the gloom. The tower shifts, subtle and cold, then settles still. The sea growls low, a threat building slow, coiling tight beneath the waves. Something stirs out there, beyond the glass, beyond the light, watching from the black. December 26th, 1900. The Hesperus slices the swell, slow and grim. Back to Eileen Moore, storm delayed, fog choking the way. The captain grips the wheel tight, eyes narrow against the haze. The cliff looms dark, a jagged scar in the gray. No light shines, no beam cuts through. The tower stands blind, cold, and dead. A horn blasts 3 times, shrill and lost, swallowed by silence. Dread rises sharp, coiling in the gut. The boat ties up, rocking unsteady. Waves slap the jetty. Spray stings the air. Salt burns the skin. 90 steps climb steep, wet and cruel, carved deep in the rock. Boots slip fast, hands clutch stone, cutting cold. The door hangs ajar, creaking slow in the wind. Air sits heavy inside, thick and wrong. A stillness that bites. The stove glows faint. Embers dying gray. The table waits. Bread half gone. Tea cold in cups. 1 chair tipped hard on the floor. The tower looms dark. Stairs twist up. 97 steps slick and worn. Oil lamps sit cold. Wicks black and still. The lens rests heavy. Blind in the gloom. A dead eye staring back. The logbook lies open, ink dry. December 15th. Storm ended. A mark 11 days old, flat and hollow. Oil shines full, untouched. The lamp didn't fail. The light stopped, sudden and sure, a cut in the night. Coats hang stiff, yellow and cold. 2 stay, 1 gone. Beds line the wall, blankets tight. Corners sharp, untouched and still. A pipe rests alone, ash spilled faint. A ghost of smoke lost. The clock stares dead, stopped at 3:17, hands frozen in place. No blood stains the floor. No scratches mark the walls. No fight broke the calm. Cliffs drop sharp outside. Rocks gleam wet. Sea foams endless below. Empty, bare, silent. A rope dangles frayed, swinging slow over the edge, trailing into the black. The light's dead. The men gone. The rock holds its breath. December 27th, 1900. News spreads slow, cold, and grim. The Flannan lights dark. 3 men lost to the void. The northern lighthouse board moves quick. Suits board a steamer, cutting fog to Eileen Moore. The island waits silent, mocking the rush. 90 steps rise wet. Wind bites hard, shoving back each stride. The door creaks open, air hangs dead inside, thick with absence. The table sits stale, bread hard, tea bitter, the chair tipped alone, a mark on the stone. The logbook rests stiff, pages curl in the damp. December 13th, gale, waves high, ink fades faint. December 14th, wind fierce, sea wild, lines blur slow. December 15th, storm ended, words stop sharp, 11 days cold and blank. The stove's ash clumps gray, days old, fading fast. The lamp stands untouched, oil full, lens still, a light that didn't break, didn't fade, didn't fall. The tower looms cold, a shell carved in brick, empty and stark. Cliffs drop sheer, wet and deadly, gleaming bare under gray. A wave looms in theory, huge, rogue, black, sweeping the rock, snatching life in a breath. The jetty stays dry, no spray stains the stone, no flood scars the floor. Madness whispers next, 3 men frayed, trapped, broken, running wild into the dark. Beds stay neat, walls clean, no chaos cracks the calm. The rope swings loose, a frayed thread to nowhere, trailing empty into the swell. Whispers drift from shore, low and hushed, carried on the wind. The sea takes, always takes, a rhythm old and sure. Birds rise in tails, big, shadowed, wings wide, snatching souls from the cliff. The wind wails deep, a sound alive, coiling tight in the air. The log haunts. Strange noise, a mark scratched faint, a warning lost to time. Suits scribble fast, lost at sea, words flat and final, sealing the void. Questions claw louder, the whispers grow sharp. The sea grins wide, hiding its truth. January 1901. New boots hit stone, slow and cold. The Flannan light flickers weak, forced back to life. The tower stands damp, walls sweat in the chill. Air bites the lungs. Shadows stretch faint, sharp on the brick, dancing slow in the gloom. The stove spits low, the lamp hums faint, a pulse reborn fragile and raw. Wind shrieks high, clawing gaps, a sound alive and endless. The rock grips tight, cold and still, unyielding to the sea. Years drag slow. 1912, a gale rages hard. Rain blinds, wind deafens, shadows flicker gray. 3 shapes faint by the cliff, lost in the storm. The light spins blind, a beam ignored, cutting nothing but fog. 1925, night falls thick, shadows shift fast. A mark stains the log, ink trembling cold. 1971, machines hum low, gears click steady, men leave the tower empty, cold and still. The rock stands alone, a scar in the swell, a wound carved deep. The tale grows dark, spreading slow. Songs hum low, 3 souls lost, a vow in the waves, a pulse etched in sound. Books pile high, pages yellow, theories bloom wild and sharp. Divers plunge in 1980, rocks bare, water deep, empty, cold, no trace left behind. 2000, boots return, gear clatters loud, meters tick faint and strange, a hum in the stone. Radiation whispers odd, a question unanswered, fading fast in the air. The island shrugs still, cold and silent, guarding its void. Today I land more, rot slow. Grass creeps thin, gulls dive wild, nesting loud on the rock. The lighthouse stares, cracked, blind in the gray, a ruin washed by time. Waves lap steady, hiding deep, holding tight. The log lies flat, storm ended, a trick, scratch cold. The chair sits tipped, a flight frozen hard. The rope trails down, a thread to the black, a pull to nothing. The sea stays smug, full and mute, alive with secrets. 3 men stepped out, lost to the dark, leaving a scar. no tide can erase.